Hello and welcome to the CSR Journal. The CSR Journal is a platform which monitors initiatives taken within the CSR domain. Today we are speaking to Mr. Kobayashi, the CEO of Canon India. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
You're welcome. That's my pleasure.
Sir, I have read about your CSR activities and you have adopted 3 villages till now. What is the psychology behind adopting these villages?
Adoption of a village is a practice of our CSR philosophy called Kyosei. Kyosei being a Japanese language, the living and working together with the common goods.
What inspired to launch this village?
So the living working together in the Indian common goods is our inspirations. And after I arrived this country for 3.5 years ago, I think that we have to show one good business model for the CSR activity, and therefore I decided to make a good samples in one of the adoption of the model for 2 years ago.
If it wasn't made mandatory, would you still take up initiating CSR activities from Canon?
Sure. That is our corporate connected to our corporate philosophy as well.
What are the criteria that you follow while adopting a village?
So one of the criteria is obviously to involve our employees. So in order to get a good involvement of the employees, we need to set up the villages quite some near distance where our employees can commute. So all the villages we adopted is within 1 or 2 hours drive from our main office.
What do the Japanese say about CSR?
We say CSR in Japanese language, the 社会的責任, which means actually the corporate social responsibility in the direct translation, which is very, very, in these days, composing the important factor of most of the Japanese firms in Japan.
So this philosophy is strongly prevalent in Japan also.
Yes, for sure.
When Canon started following the CSR activities, what triggered their first interest? What was the first thing that triggered them to do these activities?
You may know the main product of Canon is being a camera, copier, and printers. And as you can easily see, those are not life essential products like food or like house or like clothes. Therefore, the certain level of the happiness and present situation is mandatory for our business. So our CS activities as well is rooted here in order to contribute the society, in order to raise their life levels, and we want to do this based on our business.
What is your vision from the CSR perspective on an individual level?
So I often take my family to the villages and I associate with them, and I see the bright light from the eye of the students. So that is really touching my heart.
So it's the personal touch between students that you feel that makes you go forward with the activities.
Exactly correct.
Okay. What do you expect in India from the CSR regime?
So I think the both government and the private company like us have to get together hand in hand in order to improve the situations, because the target is so huge and wide, so we need to amplify our effect together.
Have you faced any drawbacks or obstacles on the government side?
Not really yet. I think new corporate act is still young, and we are still started practicing those activities nowadays. So maybe we will see some difficulties in the future, but not so far.
What are the difficulties and challenges that you see?
So in activity, I want to make sure that all the investment the company has made surely reach to the beneficiaries. And that is really important point. So therefore, not only the corporate itself, but the collaboration with the number of NPO is very, very essential.
So do you see any way to overcome these hurdles and challenges?
So we have carefully selected a partner, and at the moment we have a partner with the CAF. And with them, I'm 100% sure that all our investment is being implemented to the beneficiaries.
What is the structure you have given them to take forward your idea?
So we have explained from the bottom of our corporate philosophy and how Canon want to contribute to the society. And we shared, before we have started practicing to the villages, we shared the basic philosophy with them. And I'm sure they also has believed it with us.
Now that CSR has been made mandatory in India, do you think it needs more regulation and more supervision?
Well, predominantly, I personally believe that CSR, corporate social responsibility, have to be carried out on a voluntary basis. I think every company should have some thought in order to contribute to the society, as we are one of corporate citizens in this country. So I don't think there is no more need to force them to do it. I think the important thing is to show the guideline how we can do together with them.
So you don't believe that it should have been made mandatory by the government? You think it's an initiative that corporates should have done on their own?
So as I said, I think government should show the guideline, and private companies should follow that guideline.
How important do you think are individuals to the whole CSR aspect?
Very much important. I also recommend to involve our employees' family when we visit the villages, and when we donate the things, when we give some chance of education, even sometimes when we play the cricket together with them.
We have a lot of paperwork, a lot of rules and drawbacks that we face because of late implementation and executive rules. I would like to understand on a personal level, what are the three problems that you see a common man faces? You might want to reach over there in the future, but you are not able to tackle it presently because of all these things coming in between. So what are those three problems that the common man faces?
Well, it's not that big issue and problems. I would say it's a subject to tackle. I think the matter is attention. All the activities, since we are a private company, obviously we are the one to pursue the profit at the end of the day. Even this activity, at the end, will have to have a certain attention from a society. So we try to, of course, have a good publicities on it, and want to have consensus from the people. And I think this continuation of this move in order to get the consensus with the people is, of course, one of the issues I want to very much paying my attention.
Did you sense, when you spoke to other corporates, did you sense a lot of reluctance on their behalf when this was made mandatory, only because companies today are involved and personally only wanting to make profits?
As far as I have conducted my conversation with the other Japanese company, which I have took group of them to one of the villages together, and they are very much impressed, and they even want to learn from us the how to implement the fund into it effectively. So definitely, I think there is some still good mood to do it, and still activity is still too young, I think I would say.
But that's you've spoken with the Japanese companies, you said. What about the Indian companies that you've spoken to?
I don't have much contact to that aspect with the other Indian companies yet, but some of our partner of trade has already joined me the same philosophy, and we are now talking collaboration. So I think it's good.
So now that you're having a lot of collaborations and you've already adopted, is there another program that is coming in which is in a very nascent stage that you all have not already implemented, but maybe your program team is doing the field work and they're trying to say maybe this is the next issue we need to target and look at? Is there something that you've seen on those lines?
So we have corporate social responsibility defined in a 3E activity: the environment, I care, and education. So each one of activity should have a new field of the business to be launched. Actually, yesterday I have been working on planting new greens in Gurgaon. So, of course, greening and making a more environment against the global warming systems, of course, will be very, very keen area I want to look into.
Tell me, in general, your perspective and understanding till now on the CSR level in India, on the whole, how you have seen from the pitch of the idea to the implementation to the execution of it. What is your opinion on the whole?
Financially, I have to still wait until my book closure by the end of this year. So far, my very outline calculation is we have already invested the amount of fund more than the government defined. So 2% against the last 3 years accumulated profit. And perhaps we would continue to do it. So effectiveness, so then it's a question of balance of effectiveness and investment, so-called ROI. So we need to still look into this, and I maybe have some conclusion in the beginning of next year after I close the book. Yeah.
Do you have a message for the people?
So I think this is a combination of a corporate activity and individual mindset. And I want to invite more people to join this activity with this aspect. Corporate is also citizens of the society, and the individual is, of course, citizens of society. So together, why don't we go hand in hand in order to promote CSR activity in India?
Thank you so much, sir, for speaking with us. And we're really glad you joined us on the CSR Journal. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, and my pleasure.